Hey Slips, welcome back to another free show, I guess. So today I'm going to be interviewing captains from both Dynamic and MMG Esports. First up, I'm here with Ray, captain of Dynamic.
Hey, what's up?
And so thanks for coming onto the show today, Ray.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start off with an easy question. What do you think of the league so far, Ray?
It's very interesting. Last year I was in a league or a tournament, not too sure which one of the two, but I enjoyed it. But this is much more interesting and much more in depth into it, and not in depth, but more into it. Let's say that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the players in the league are very involved in it's like my team, Heatwave, has been very, it's been very interesting, getting new players. Do you have new players on your team that you haven't met before, and you learning how to navigate?
I mean, my whole team is new.
Oh, really?
I mean, I had a team last year, and then the ownership was transferred to another player, and so I ended up going from captain to sub, and then that team disbanded. It was Dynamic, but it was just my old team basically, and so I was like, I'm gonna restart it, and so I restarted it, got some friends who I already play Rocket League with, and had to find some new players. Billy and Camo on my team, my two mains, are people who I actually play with on a regular, so those are easy to find. A couple, there's two new ones on there, Comdog and Maglin. He's a new person I met in casuals, so it was very hard searching for those players to see who would work with my team, who would work with me, who would be a good match. And so, yeah, everyone on my team is basically new except for the main players.
And do you think you guys have had a good time? You have good player chemistry,
Yeah.
So far? That's good.
Our chemistry and playing with each other and was just chemistry in general is pretty good. Got the trash talking to each other occasionally here and there. But overall, it's good chemistry. Better than I hoped, actually.
That's great to hear. So who would you say is the best player / MVP on your team?
Honestly, that has to go... I have more than one in the sense, it's for different skills. Comdog, he's better in skills-wise. Overall, he's just a better player in skills. But we all basically main twos. The only person that mains threes is Maglin. So in overall team playing a team player and overall pretty good in general was any mashup would be Mag. So it's honestly a hard pick to choose my top MVP player, but they all have their individual skills that shine through the team when we play.
That makes sense. And then you guys can all show your strengths while you're playing. So
yeah,
it all works.
Indeed.
So you said that you haven't had any experience playing against MMG Esports thus far.
Not of my knowledge. I may have been last year if they were a team last year, but this year, no.
Okay.
Not with my current team, no.
So we just took a look at the roster. What do you think of it? And how do you think it compares to the rest of the league?
It's higher rankings, but honestly, me personally, I don't really give a crap about ranks. They could have high ranks, they could have low ranks. It doesn't really matter because ranks are ranks. You could have a bad day and it'll bring it down, and then even though you're really good. I've had that happen to me in two so many times where I'm just really good and I have a bad mood, bad day or whatever, and it brings me down 2 ranks. Or sometimes I'm on fire one day when I'm usually not that good, and I'll go up 2 ranks or 1 rank. So just because they, as I am looking here, they have 2 champs and some diamonds. So their team looks more on the power side on MMR, but it doesn't really frighten me in a sense, or it doesn't worry me or frighten me because they could have had a bad day, good day, doesn't really matter. what happens is true actions on the field, not on paper, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up, because like some people might not be playing ranked as much as other people's, but could still be really skilled.
Yeah, that.
So yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so another question I have is, if you could make a dream team with players from both your team and MMG, how many of yours would get in versus theirs? What do you say?
This answer isn't only because I don't know their team. It's just because of the fact that myself, personally, I prefer to play with people who I know. I don't really care about, I play randoms and duos and like other playlists in Rocket League, but like that's not what I mean. If I'm gonna do like an actual team where I'm gonna be playing multiple matches with people and I want to like go far with my team, I'd rather it be with people who I like talk to and enjoy talking to than random people who are good at the game or that I've like never talked to. Like I'd rather it be consisting of my team right now. So if I had to choose a dream team, I'm already having my dream team, honestly. Like I wouldn't really switch anybody out or take anyone out or replace anybody, because everyone who I am currently in a team with, I have good chemistry with and I have fun with playing with. So for me, I put fun over like skills and all that.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good answer. I feel like that's a lot different than what a lot of other teams would say.
Because you can have skill, but you can also just not have a good chemistry with that person. Or even if you do have a good chemistry with them, it's still like, if they're skilled where they're higher than you, like way higher than you, you're gonna feel like you're holding them back anyway. So like, why not just stick with your team and like stick at a level where you're good?
Yeah, that's a good answer. It's a good take on the like usual like just wanting to build like the most efficient team.
Yeah.
But if you did have to focus just on skill, what would you say, like based on how the players play the game?
The thing is, for me, was the amount of no, it wouldn't make a difference, honestly. Like they can have higher MMR, they could be grand champs. I really wouldn't give a shit. Your team will have a higher skill if your chemistry with each other is better. And that only really happens when your team has good chemistry in general, just not like playing with each other, but just relationship wise and out of gameplay. So like if I had to choose it on skill base wise, since I have so much like training, or not so much training, but more time with my team, we have more passing plays. We know how each other play. We know what we would do if we know what our teammates would do when we're playing. So we know what passing plays to do. We know what aerials to pop up for like someone to air dribble. Like skill wise, we can only go up if we practice, not switch out teams mates.
I feel that. Yeah, so that really definitely shows like you're very confident in your team's dynamic. Name of the team also. Based on what you know, what do you think would be the final score of your matchup this week?
That's difficult to answer, honestly. I don't know about the score itself, but I think it's going to be a good match. I mean, we're all both in D1, so that means something. Like, we're good enough to be in Div 1, so... Or not Div 1, but, yeah, Division 1, whatever. Same difference. We're good enough to be in Div 1, so... that means we hold a candle to them and they hold a candle to us. So I don't know how the score is going to play out. Don't know if we're going to have a good day, bad day, either one of us. Maybe we're not warmed up, whatever the case is. Don't really know. But all I know is that it's going to be a good game and I can't count either our teams out.
Yeah, I can definitely tell you're not too overconfident, but you definitely have like a good faith in your team. Nice.
I try to not be cocky. Definitely leads to losses.
Gonna jinx it.
I know.
Where do you think that your opponents will finish their time in the league? Like, do you think they'll make it more closer to the end?
Well, I'm pretty sure they were one of the top teams of last league, right? Am I correct on that statement?
I believe so.
Yeah, so based on that, I feel like they're going to land pretty high. But, hey, we got some new teams. I'm a new team, so we'll see if we take it before they do.
For sure. Gotta root for your own team.
Yeah.
What words of advice would you have for your opponents before the matchup?
Advice. Okay. I guess most of our team is pretty good with aerials, so I guess watch the skies. I don't know. Not
I
much.
think that's what it is.
Not much else I could say.
That's fair. Let's just see if they can take that advice if they're watching this before the matchup.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good luck to your team for this
Thank you.
match. Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks
it.
for coming to this interview.
Thanks for having me.